What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Sunday morning to all of you. Got to get this up. Here we go live. Let me move over to this. This will get me on our YouTube. Great to see all of you guys. Let's get this chat up and rocking. We have 9 cappers on today's NFL Pub Hub. It's going to be high octane, tons of action. We record and track everybody's action. We have cappers making their NFL Pub Hub debut in our friend Sweaty Butcher and Ron Crawford, star of the spreadsheet play of the day. We have Flash back in business with us, a top 5 performer on our show last year. He's going to be rocking with us, coming to us from Costa Rica. We have Nicholas Earl making his season debut, and we are in business. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Justin McKelvey already rocking his stacks play of the day. The Sweaty Butcher making his NFL Pub Hub debut. NJ Striker, Blaze Towns fan, Talk Sports with JT, Razor Sharp Picks, Von Polo, Tom Leach, Gerald Jones, Birdie. Birdie is our NFL Pub Hub leader and season 3 champion. The Nuke Worker, Ken Wood, says, happy you got it. It's my birthday. Got a birthday bet for me. Of course we do. Of course we do. I'm going to copy and paste all of this action. Slatsy is on the air, and Jones props, which I completely get. I haven't moved on them, but I have moved on my first prop of a single bet because I used the CeeDee Lamb props in a SGP, but a single bet, and that's Jalen Hurts rushing yards over. Razor says the biggest NFL Sunday for him, 7 bets locked and loaded. It's going to be a very, very, very fun evening. Morning, afternoon, evening, everything. We got our live stream tonight for Ravens Bills. It's going to be spectacular. So today's show, Bobano up first, and Ramon Scott, LJ, Flash, Dabby Cab, Sweaty Butcher, Ron Crawford, Marley, and Nicholas Earl. I've added 2 more spots to my action, so I've got 11 bets here. Let's get the tweet out here, and then let's bring on your first guest and get right after it. Pop this up here, and we are in business. As soon as I see the camera on our first guest, I will bring him up right now. We do have, for me, New England, San Francisco under 40.5. The Raiders money line, obviously, with the Devontae Adams injury in practice. It hurts me badly. Bears -3 at -105. Philly, Tampa under 44. Jaguars +6.5. Commanders +3.5. Ravens -2. Buccaneers +2. Falcons -2. And then I just added 2 spots. I just added Jalen Hurts over rush yards, and I added the under 42 in the Chiefs Chargers, and that was a spot we talked about with Birdie on Tuesday night. I was gonna wait until there was the announcement that Herbert was good to go, which has already happened. I was a little late to the party, and then adding the under once it got up to 42, which is what I did. And I also max bet, well, not quite max, not as full max as, but for a non-future type bet, 2-unit bet on the Rockies. Bud Black's last game. Jose talked about it throughout the week. Bud Black's last game managing. So I did put a big bet on the Rockies. That's my action. Let's get to work and bring on your first guest. He is our season 2 champion. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Also, let me make sure that I've got our guy Ken Wood's birthday here in front of me so that I can remember it and talk about it throughout the show and make sure he gets a birthday pick here. Anybody who's got a birthday pick? Charlie Blackman's last game. Charlie Blackman's last game. Said Bud Black there. Charlie Blackman's last game. Let's get our guy here rocking with us. Season 2 champion. Please welcome from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's black and yellow, Hamilton, Ontario, Mr. Ian Cameron to the show. Ian, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Jimmy. Good card. Great. It was pretty good college day yesterday. Looking forward to this card, though, today. Lots of good action.
My favorite spot that you were on that I rocked with you was Louisiana Monroe. That was a thing of beauty. Bobano, outright winner, 7-point dog. I loved every second
good
of
day
it.
Overall, we grinded out profit. I was very upset with Memphis. That's just not a good football team. That's an overrated football team. You're supposed to come out there and absolutely beat the piss out of a really, really bad Middle Tennessee team, and they just didn't do it.
It was unfortunate. But still quality work all around. Let's get right to work, Bobano. We got to move quickly here. You start in a game that is very near and dear to my heart. I'm wearing a Saints hat, and I'm fading the New Orleans Saints today. I'm on the Atlanta
with the Atlanta
Falcons.
Falcons.
Yes,
You're
the
getting
Falcons.
it.
Caleb McGarry is out, which we expected. Drew Dahlman, of course, is out. Of course, not only did the Falcons lose their starting center, the Saints lost their starting center last week. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks. We have injury issues with the Saints offense. Olave with the hamstring, Kamara with the hips and ribs. They're listed as questionable, but they're banged up. And then Cesar Ruiz out for the Saints on their offensive line. He's somebody who could have replaced, like he could have been the replacement at center, but he can't be because he's out. So it's a tough spot for the Saints offensive line. They're also missing Demario Davis as well from the defensive side of things. Let's get into the line history here for Bobano's first spot on the board. This total is at 41. It is juiced to the over. This opened up at 43.5. So we've had some mighty drop here. And then on the spread, we have the Falcons right now -2.5 at -108. They opened up at -1. This was a -3. This was a -3 last night. So we've gone into the 2.5 range, which is a little uncomfortable. I was very happy to see the 3. I love it. It's okay that it doesn't stick, but I was extremely pleased to see it. You have 90% of the tickets and 89% cash on the over, and this is moving to the under. And then you have 76% of tickets, but just 65% cash on the Saints. Take it away, Bobano, game 1 for you.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this Monday night at halftime when we went through the card for the week ahead. We usually do that halftime of the Monday night stream. I mentioned Atlanta. I like Atlanta here in this spot. -136 on the money line is what I'm going to look at. Not official too, but when the total dipped as low as 40.5, I did grab a piece of the over. I don't like it as much. It's not going to be an official play. It's just going to be Atlanta, just because I thought the number moved a lot, and it's maybe a little overreaction to the Saints. They're not as bad offensively probably as they showed last week, but they're certainly not as good as they showed against Carolina or Dallas either. So I thought the number was in between. But for me, just the only official play here is Atlanta. Look, Atlanta, if you look at their games so far, they're this season, they're 1-2, but they lost a game against Kansas City last week. They could have won. They maybe should have won with some better play calling, better execution in the red zone. They came back and they beat Philadelphia on Monday night the week before, and then they lost to an undefeated Steelers team that has a great defense from what we've seen so far. So there's really no shame in them being 1-2. We kind of saw evidence of that Atlanta or New Orleans offense coming back down to earth. And you mentioned it. The offensive line's not great when they're fully healthy. And now they've got the injuries. Olave and Kamara banged up a little bit too, going on the road. Atlanta doesn't want to drop 2 home games. You got to factor that in too. No team wants to lose 2 consecutive home games. And, I still think Atlanta's the better of these 2 teams. Don't love either coach, so it's a wash. Morris versus Allen here. But, I like Atlanta in this spot, -136.
You got it locked in. And we have interesting information from Birdie. Says, I would caution on fading the Saints today. Cousins' new center is left-handed. Does not sound like a big deal, but apparently it is. Cousins historically does not do well off script. So he's giving us caution. We have a couple cappers here on the Saints, a few on the Falcons. It's sort of split here, and a lot of people liking that under here, but I can understand why you got on it at 40.5, deeming it too low. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board for Bobano. It is Steelers Colts. The Colts right now are +2.5 at -107. They opened up +1.5. This is a 1-point move towards the Pittsburgh Steelers. And on the total, we have the 40.5. This was the same number that was the look-ahead number at 40.5 that I hesitantly did not move on the under. I stared at it for so long and did not move. We have Troy on the under on our Tuesday show. We have our guy Birdie on the over. So both sides of the coin there. Then on the cash flow for this one, we have 39% of the tickets and 52% of the cash on the Colts. You have 86% of tickets and 75% of the cash on the over. Jaylen Warren is out. Cordell Patterson will get a lot more run, but we know this is the Najee Harris show. And Kwity Paye and Kenny Moore are out. And Kwity, having him out is a huge, huge deal with no DeForest Buckner and already showing difficulty defending the run. Take it away for us here, Bobano, Steelers Colts.
I almost got there with Birdie's over in this game. I almost did. but I couldn't I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with Pittsburgh. They're 3-0 to the under, and really the games haven't been close to going over the. Well, I guess the Charger game got a little bit close, but they've been a dead nuts under team, Pittsburgh. But Indy's a dead nuts over team at home, and I don't bet Colts unders at home. I know their game stayed under last week against Chicago at home, as I say that, but before that Chicago game last week, Indy's been an over machine at home. My bet in this game is Pittsburgh. I just think I've seen enough now of Anthony Richardson. I cannot envision him not making mistakes today against this Steelers defense, whether it's getting sacked by TJ Watt and forcing something he shouldn't. He has made a bad decision or two with the football in every game so far this year for the Colts, and against one of the best defenses in the NFL. And now you factor in the Colts have some injuries on defense, which should actually make life easier for Justin Fields. And don't look now, Justin Fields is gaining momentum and traction. We saw it last week against the Chargers, starting to get some flow now in that offense. I just think it's a cheap price right now, given Indy's injury issues on defense. They do usually have a good home record, and obviously we've seen signs of that, but they played good at home. They almost beat Houston at home. Don't always love going against the Colts when they're at home, but I just think it's a tough matchup and a bad matchup for them. So for me, Pittsburgh minus 130 money line.
Steelers minus 130 for a Bobana. We got Jake Kaiser, Harold Williams, Al Cervic. We have our man, the Nuke Worker, in the house. By the way, Nuke Worker was our winner of our horse race on Friday for $100. And you know what he said? He said, put it back in. Put it back in. So we've had both Cody Norton and Nuke Worker just give it right back in. $150 on Thursday for our horse race. Next up for us, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 72 Fahrenheit, sunny, 12-mile-per-hour winds. Carrington Valentine, cornerback, is out. Doubtful, but we expect out, which is going to require more pressure on Jair Alexander, who's dealing with a quad and groin injury. We expect Jordan Love under center as well. The Vikings are a pretty healthy group, and it's Ivan Pace Jr., the linebacker, is the only one listed here on the injury report. Let's get into the line history here for Bobano. This total under 44 at minus 112. So it's a half-point move towards the over. And on the spread, we have the Packers. Well, let's go with let's go Vikings a little easier. +3 at minus 121. This open +3 at minus 116. So they've taken 4 cents of movement. I know a lot of people were involved in this game at the 2.5 line on the Packers or the 3 line on the Vikes. Cash wise here, we have the 90% of the tickets, 70% of cash on the over. And on the spread, we have 79% of tickets, 68% cash on the Vikings. Take it away, Bobano.
Great game. Absolutely. I mean, Minnesota, I don't want to step in front of Minnesota, but it also feels like this isn't the week you want to jump on if you've been backing Minnesota these first few weeks. I feel like they're going to get got at some point. Could this be the day with Jordan Love back? And going to Lambeau is never easy. My play, though, is the over. I think we're going to see points here in this game. In spite of the fact that the Viking defense has been the story. Like, people will talk about Sam Darnold. That's headline 1A with the Vikings renaissance this year. I think 1B is this defense. I did not see this coming from the Minnesota defense. I didn't. I thought this was a mediocre defense based on the personnel on paper. But you got to tip your cap to Brian Flores. He's done a phenomenal job. They've played so much better. They've had a pass rush. They've been good in the secondary. They've been solid. And you really can't quibble about, you can't say, well, it's because of who they played. No, they played Houston and San Francisco. Now, San Francisco was banged up. I get it. But still, I mean, this is a Minnesota defense. I did not see them playing that well. But those 2 games were at home. Let's see that defense do it on the road. You got Jordan Love coming back. And obviously, it's a big boost for that Packers offense, in spite of the fact Willis played okay in the 2 games. And then on the flip side, you look at Sam Darnold and the Minnesota offense. I still don't think this Green Bay defense is great. I mean, I can't put too much into them shutting down Tennessee. Tennessee's been miserable offensively most of the season. This is going to be a much taller order for the Packers defense. Weather doesn't look that bad for this game. So we'll go over 43.5 here. Minus 112 at Proline Plus.
The weather is cleared up enormously here, which much, much better than what we thought on Tuesday. Sorry, what was the number again?
Over 43.5 at minus 112.
You are locked and loaded. Bobano rolling here. We roll on to Rams, Bears, Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. 69 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 15-mile-per-hour winds. We know the Rams are a banged-up group. The big story from the injury side of things that we didn't know or were fully expecting is Keenan Allen. looks like he is good to go. Practiced in full on Friday, and we expect him in the lineup. And we see the line moving again towards the Bears with that information. Of course, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua out. Of course, the offensive line for the Rams in a poor shape here. Let's get into the line history. The Bears are now -3 at -109. If you want the Rams +3, it's an even money situation. They will give you that bet with no vig. And from the total situation here, we have a 40.5 -114 to the under. That means 8 cents of movement from that original number at Pinnacle. And then when we get into the cash flow here, we have 76% of the tickets and 70% of the cash on the Rams. This line's just be moving towards the Bears. And on the total, 90% of tickets and 88% of cash on the over. Take it away, Bobano. Rams, Bears at Soldier Field.
Doesn't it feel like this is the mother of all miserable spots here for the LA Rams? It really, truly does. I mean, they're coming to the Midwest now after the comeback of a lifetime it felt like a comeback of a lifetime. That game looked dead, done. 49ers had it, and then all of a sudden they didn't. I mean, just an unbelievable fourth quarter there for the LA Rams. Let's not forget, they came back in spite of the fact that they're pretty banged up still on the O-line. Noteboom's been battling injury for weeks. We all already know they're still without their top two receivers, Kupp and Nacua. Now you got to go on the road. You got to say what you will about Chicago's offensive line. And this is an indictment on the Bears front office that they didn't address this offensive line. They got all these shiny toys and weapons for Caleb Williams to play with. Well, you can't play with the toys, if the offensive line doesn't work, and the offensive line's not working. But the Bears have one hell of a defense. The defense has held them in every single game they've played this year. And I think they're going to make life tough on Stafford. The pass rush can get there. And you just hope Williams can do enough, and the offensive line cannot screw it up enough for the Bears to find a way to get a win. And let's not forget, they've only played one home game so far, and that was a win for Chicago, albeit an ugly one where they didn't score an offensive touchdown against Tennessee, but they still won the game at home. It's just a good spot play here for Chicago. Not convinced they're the better team, but in this spot, I think they're the better bet. So we'll go with Chicago here. I don't like doing this often, but we'll lay the Piper here with the money line as opposed to the -3, Jimmy. We'll go -152 on the money line with Chicago.
-152 on the Bears. We move into afternoon action with Bobano. Commanders, Cardinals, State Farm in Glendale, Arizona. We knew the Eagles' situation all week. No Devonta Smith. We all did not expect A.J. Brown to play with the bye next week. And then Lane Johnson out with the concussion. We know when Lane went out early in the first half that it wasn't a small thing, and we didn't expect him to be in the lineup. For the Buccaneers, Antoine Winfield and Kalijah Kancey are both out. Now, they were practicing or training on the sidelines, and there was some hope that they
I don't have a play on this game, by the way.
Sorry?
Philly and Tampa.
Oh, you're Philly, Tampa.
No. I got nothing.
Sorry. What am I talking about? I'm reading the Eagles.
I was going to say.
I'm reading the Eagles Buccaneers injury situation under Washington.
Arizona's next. Yeah.
Yeah, Washington. That's my bad. I'm reading the Eagles Buccaneers.
I honestly have zip on Eagles.
We were moving very quickly. I was moving very quickly this morning. So yes,
Eagles,
this is Commanders, Cardinals.
Eagles,
I don't know why I'm reading out the wrong, but I do have the right line history up. So why don't we just go right there? I apologize for that. Under 49 at -111 is the total. This opened up at 49.5. It's juiced to the under. So it's a half-point move, maybe a little more than a half-point move towards the under. And that surprises me. That threw me for a loop that the under would be in that situation. Because you think of these two quarterbacks and you think points, even though Kyler and Murray and the Cardinals haven't necessarily been doing that other than that first game against the Bills, which is still very impressive. I did move on to Commanders. They're at +3.5 at -111 right now. If you wanted the Cardinals -3.5, you'd get +101 with that situation. And when we get to the cash flow, we have 46% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the Cardinals, 89% of tickets and 93% of cash on the over. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Commanders, Cardinals.
Yeah, this is the only game of the games on my list and for the show today that I'm on doubling up side and total in this game. I'm on the Commanders again. I think I mentioned this on Monday's show as well at halftime. Even with the spot concerns, right? You're on the road on a short week after winning in Cincinnati. Wow. Maybe there's a hangover and a letdown. I still like this Washington offense, and it's more I don't like Arizona's defense. I think Washington can still move the football, still have a ton of success. Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson. Go after rushing props on both of them because the Arizona run defense has not been any good. so far this year. So rushing props on the quarterback and Brian Robinson, the running back, makes sense to me. And then on the flip side, look, Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr., McBride being out's a big blow at tight end, but James Conner running it. There's still a lot of weapons, and Washington's defense still isn't that good. They also showed that even though they beat Cincy, they still gave up over 30 points. So I like the dog, and I like a lot of points. So Washington +4, -122, over 48, -118.
Over 48, -118. It's surprised to see this dropping right now, this total dropping. Next up for Bobano, 4:25 p.m., we have Kansas City Chiefs at Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Bosa out, Rashawn Slater out, Joe Alt out, and then, of course, Derwin James was suspended for a game, so he's not on the injury report, but he is out. Herbert is going to play. This is a healthy Chiefs squad, of course, other than Pacheco, and this is a scary spot. It's a scary spot for me personally, just because my pops sent in a $200 bet on the Chiefs at 7.5, and then he doubled down for another 200 at 7, and I haven't sent either in. I haven't made this an official pick or anything like that, but obviously I'm invested. The Chargers are at +7.5, -106 opening line, now +7.5 at -113, so 7 cents towards them. But this was a 7, so to see it coming, I know it opened at 7.5, but this was at 7 for a lot of the week. So to see it here is a little uncomfortable. I just moved on the under before the show started, the under 42. We talked about it on Tuesday to wait until we thought it was at its highest point. That's what I did. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 60% of the tickets and 52% of the cash on the Chiefs, 92% of tickets, 91% cash on the over. Take it away, Bobano. Chiefs, Chargers.
So since the Chargers moved to LA,
Ooh, wow, some very breaking news here for the Colts. Ryan Kelly out for the Colts. So Tanner Bordolini gets his first start versus the Steelers. Ooh, that is not who you want. Is your
especially
opposition.
With that defensive front on the other side, which has been flat out awesome this year. Yep.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much for that, Slatsy. Take it away, Bobano.
Anyway, I forgot what it was. Yeah, since the Chargers moved to LA, Kansas City, when they've come to SoFi, they haven't beaten the Chargers by more than a touchdown in any of those games. They've all been close. They've all been competitive. Is the Chargers injury report scary? You better believe it. Of course. Their O-line's banged up. Bosa, their best pass rusher, or at least one of them, is not in. I'm not even reacting anymore to Derwin James. Yes, it's a big loss, but they've been without him so long now, they're probably used to it. So hopefully they can adjust. Hopefully Jim Harbaugh can adjust to it. I'm taking a stand here and taking the Chargers. And let's be real. Let's look at the other side of this equation. When have the Chiefs shown an ability to win by margin this year? Skin of their teeth victory against Baltimore, skin of their teeth victory against Cincinnati, skin of their teeth victory against Atlanta. It's not like the Chiefs are a boatload of confidence that, hey, let's lay more than a touchdown with this Kansas City team right now when they've been skirting by and just done enough in all these games. A big division game, divisional dogs, especially divisional home underdogs. Boy, they've been very good and very profitable long-term against ATS in the NFL. With the injury concerns being big, and I know that they are there and they are real, I'm standing in front of them anyway with LA +7.5, -114 at Pinnacle.
I love to hear it. Let's roll on. You have the Sunday nighter and a Monday nighter. Shout out to our guy, the Skunt Blaster, in the house. Thank you, my man. I will copy and paste that. Thank you for the dono to bless our action. Our guy, the Skunt Blaster.
This is where, too, I rely on Harbaugh, okay? You're a much better coach than Staley and Anthony Lynn, the last two clowns that were here. Show it today. I know there's injuries, but get this team ready. Have them ready to go. Next man up. Have them prepared. I'm hoping and betting that he will.
Let's roll on here. Boban, we got to be tight. Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. 69 Fahrenheit, cloudy 8 miles per hour. Terrell Bernard and Taron Johnson both out. It didn't affect them whatsoever against the Jaguars? Will it affect them against the Ravens here? By the way, Tyler Linderbaum expected to be in the lineup and good to go at center for the Ravens. Get into the line history here quickly. We won't need to do this line history and everything after we've done it once, but we got to do it the first spot. This is a 46, exactly where it opened. There's been a 1 cent move towards the over. And on the point spread here, we have a -2.5 at -113 on the Ravens. So it's moved 1.5 in their direction since the opening line over at Pinnacle. I am on them. It's not comfortable fading the Bills, but I am on them. 28% of the tickets and 39% of the cash is on the Ravens, and 74% of tickets, 74% cash on the over. Take it away, Bobana.
So, boy, Buffalo's been impressive. No question about that. I'm actually on a small bet on Buffalo, but I didn't make it official because I like the total more. I'm going over this 46 -110 at Pinnacle is the current number. I think it's offensive advantages for both teams. And look, Baltimore, we know losing Mike McDonald was going to be big, but the secondary has really struggled. The defense as a whole has really struggled. I mean, they couldn't protect a lead against lowly Las Vegas at home. You know, they gave up 27 to the Chiefs. They let Dallas right back into the game. Dak was picking them apart in the fourth quarter. That's not a very good secondary right now, and I think Josh Allen and company can exploit it. Meanwhile, if you look at Buffalo, the run defense, this is where it's going to show up, I think, middle of the field. Lamar likes throwing to the middle of the field. We know the linebacking core, Milano banged up, Bernard banged up. We know they lost their safeties as well, Poyer and Hyde from last year. That's trouble against Baltimore, and especially when you got a run threat with Henry and a run threat at the quarterback spot with Lamar. They could do damage. And all the things they want to do offensively, Baltimore, they can probably have success doing, in my opinion. Even though Buffalo's defense has fought the good fight with all the injuries, I think it's a tricky matchup for this Bills defense here on the road. So I like both teams to have success moving the football. Over 46 for me.
Over 46. Final spot on the board for Bobano, our Monday nighter, which gives us great fodder for our live stream. Seattle Seahawks, Detroit Lions, Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan. Seattle dealing with a lot of injuries now to their defense. Nwosu, Mafe, Leonard Williams, and Byron Murphy all out, with Jerome Baker hamstring questionable. Now, they do get Kenneth Walker back. Frank Ragnow, the center, out for the Lions. And Sammy Laporta, despite looking so banged up, is going to play here the week before their bye. We have Detroit sitting at -3.5 at -110. This opened up at 4.5, -106. So we've had a 1 point move towards the Seahawks. And on the total here, we have a 46.5, -105 to the under. This got down as low as 45.5. So we've come back. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 48% of tickets, 59% of the cash on the Lions, 48% of tickets, 47% of cash on the over. Take it away, Bobana.
Look, Seattle 3-0, great job, right? Hats off to Mike McDonald in his first year as head coach, 3-0 team. I'm not going to do cartwheels over it. Can't do it. You played Bo Nix in Denver in his first start in the NFL on the road, Jacoby Brissett after that, and there's not a single competent quarterback that was on that field last week for Miami when they played Seattle. I can't go crazy about 3-0 with that kind of slate, those quarterbacks that you faced. Now you're going on the road Monday night. You're taking on a Lions team that in these primetime home game spots the last couple of years at Ford Field have been very good in these spots. Now, I know they were a lucky win and cover against the Rams on Sunday night to open the year, but they still won and covered. They bounced back from a tough loss against Tampa, against Arizona. You're right, these injuries with Seattle's dealing with, Jimmy, are a concern. This is a big step up for Seattle, especially that defense based on what they saw in the first 3 games. They didn't see an offense or a quarterback, anything like this, what they're going to deal with here Monday night in Detroit. So for me, -3.5, Jimmy, on the Lions. We're laying the points here with the short home favorite. -3.5, -110 at Bet Rivers.
You got it. Bobano's locked in. Lions -3.5 and -110. The over 46 in Buffalo, Baltimore. Chargers +7.5 at -114. Washington +4 and the over 48 in Commanders, Cardinals. He's on the Bears money line -152. The over 43.5 in Minnesota, Green Bay. He's on the Steelers money line at -130 and the Falcons money line at -136. Great job, Bobano. Go get that cash. Star of the Ice Guys and Hitting the Books YouTube channel. Go get that cash. Please support our guy Bobano and over at X at Bobano Bets. Bobano, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Have a hell of a Sunday. Let's cash some tickets. Same to you, Jimmy, and we'll see you Monday night for the live stream.
Great to have you, Bobano. Great to have you. We roll on to our next guest. We head from Hamilton, Ontario to Las Vegas, Nevada. This year, 2-1 plus 0.92 units in one show. And we can't wait to see what he does in his second performance here on NFL Pub Hub. Please welcome star of the Morning Steam YouTube show on Sports Money YouTube channel. Please welcome our guy, Ramon Scott, to the show. Ramon, how are you?
Hey, Jimmy, good to be with you. Thanks for having me today.
It's great to have you, my friend. We move quick here. We start with Jaguars, Texans Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. We haven't talked about this one yet. Dameon Pierce still out and Joe Mixon questionable right now. We thought that was going to be the opposite. We thought Joe Mixon was going to be out and Dameon Pierce was going to be questionable. So that's the opposite. Jimmy Ward out as well. Same with Tank Dell. For the Jaguars, Evan Ingram out and Oluokun out as well. And sorry, actually, these guys are questionable. My bad. No, those two are out. There we go. It's Darnell Savage that's questionable. Darnell Savage and Jarian Jones are questionable. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Jaguars, Texans. We have the total at 44 and now at 45. Excuse me, now at 45. This opened up at 46. We have a 1-point move to the under. And on the spread, we have Jacksonville at 5.5 right now at -103. I did move on them at 6.5 on Tuesday. You could have got a 7 at one point. I did not get that, but we have a 5.5 right now. 1-point move towards the Jags. It's very uncomfortable betting the Jacksonville Jaguars. We have 40% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on the Jaguars, 88% of tickets, 82% of cash on the over. Take it away, Ramon, my man, your game one.
All those tickets and money on the over, you say, Jimmy. So I guess, we're going to see all of a sudden Trevor Lawrence revert back to his, previous career form, if you will, in this particular game against a pretty good Houston team here, especially with that run defense right now. I've got them certainly ranked probably top 5 run defense. I don't know if the statistics bear it out. I didn't check this week, but by the eye test, certainly I like that advantage for Houston. So I don't see Jacksonville necessarily reverting to some superstar offensive form here. Now, I will give them a bit of a shot here maybe to cover this game because right now we're seeing this line go pretty high here. And I don't know, Houston's a pretty bad road favorite, a home favorite, Jimmy, 4-12 against the spread last 16. But I just can't help thinking how miserable the offense looks right now with Lawrence, 4 touchdowns on the last 29 drives and just 6 points in the first half, the last 2 games. So really struggling here to get anything going, it feels like. Now, of course, we love Stroud, but they haven't been clicking necessarily either offensively. Just 2 touchdowns in their last 22 drives in the last 2 games, and also just 8 for 28 on third down. I expect Jacksonville, this is that 0-3 spot, the desperation spot here. Are we really ready to cast them down to the bottom 5? Maybe we are. Maybe that's where they stand here for Jacksonville. This would be, a relatively low point for the franchise over the last couple of years as far as, where they've been headed. We know they've been really on the cusp of the big game even here over the last couple of years, but it does feel like we've reached a real low point right now. So I'm going to end up on an under here. 3 of the last 4 meetings, Jimmy, have gone under in this one. And I think if the Houston Texans here are, you mentioned Dell injured too. I mean, he needs all those weapons. We haven't really seen much from Dell yet, but here, Jimmy, with Jacksonville, feels to me desperation mode. They've got to bring a little bit of defense to this one. 44 and a half. It seems almost preposterous actually to me. And I've got this one probably in the high 30s, I would think, tonight with Houston hosting Jacksonville. I'm on the under.
I love it. Jacksonville, Houston under 44.5 for Ramon Scott. We move on to a second spot on the board. Broncos, Jets, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is one of the games where we do expect some showers. Not rain, but showers. 62 Fahrenheit showers, 6 miles per hour. Healthy groups. Broncos have their safety, JL Skinner, out with an ankle injury. Jets have Morgan Moses, their offensive tackle, out. We knew about that all week, and it looks like CJ Mosley doubtful with the toe injury. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Broncos, Jets. We have the Jets now 8-point favorites, -8 at minus 108. This was a 7.5. It was at 7.5 for a long time, but it has now moved to 8. And on the total, we have this right now at 39.5. It opened up at 38, so we've gone up a point. Oh, sorry, it opened up at 38.5, so we've gone up a point. And when we get to the cash flow for this Broncos spot, we have 41% of the tickets, 38% of cash on the Broncos, 92% of tickets, and 77% cash on the over. Take it away, Ramon.
All right, well, color me square here there in this one. I'm going to take it over in the total. I'm thankful that it looks pretty low here right now. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be down on Bo Nix here in this one against, certainly a Jets defense that is okay right now. No doubt I'm going to give them some props here right now, the way things are going. Now, Denver did stay out here on the East Coast. They avoided the hurricane, the remnants of the hurricane, by heading inside to prepare for the game this week. So I like Bo Nix. I mean, I don't think I'm going to put him in there, the best quarterbacks right now, but you look at the rookies, right? He's mid-pack QBR. I think that's pretty good. The completion percentage is good. And unlike the last guy that was in here in Denver, I think you're going to get a guy who's going to do exactly what coach tells him to do and not necessarily what he wants to do. And I think that's a good thing for Denver, for Bo Nix. Denver, they're off the shocker, obviously, last week, but they did get it done. So give them credit. They are 2-1 to the over on their team total so far. The Jets are 2-0-1 to their team total so far, and this is the Hackett game here. So I don't know if that'll spur the Jets to get the necessary points to help this one go over the total, but that's what I'm going to look to do here, Jimmy. I like Denver here to maybe hang in. Again, we're still looking at that trend there with these 5.5 point or more dogs now up to 15-2 unofficially. Some people got it 14-3, whatever that you can see right now. Teams are always going to be in here right now. Also, Jimmy, road dogs off of a road dog win. That would be Denver today, obviously, are 16-3 to the over last 19 league-wide events that's happened. That's road dogs off of a road dog outright victory, 16-3 to the over. Also, non-division home favorites with rest. So these are the teams that are playing Thursday night games, or maybe it was some Fridays, but this is a recent trend here with extra rest. This would be the Jets right now. Teams are 15-2 to the over. Non-division home favorites, 15-2, last 17 league-wide events here right now. So you see there, I like it, Coin. Rodgers kind of keeps it in control here, certainly, but he certainly is very comfortable to me. Denver defense, good. I've got to rate them pretty strong right now. Really, maybe the Denver Broncos are kind of one of those, maybe they're buy low situations still here, it feels like to me, as long as they can keep the mistakes down with Nix. I think they have a chance to do that. Also, Jimmy, Jets next week play Minnesota in London. And those teams that travel over there have a strong trend. I wish I had the number. This one just came to me now as I was thinking about it. But these are over teams here that head into London the next week. I don't know if that's a case of keeping players rested or whatnot, or the type of scheduling that they have, but it is an over. Wish I had that number for you there, brothers. So anyways, I looked at the Hackett angle a little bit on this one. I expect the Jets to have a nice game offensively here, despite what I see there. Great comments in the chat about yardage here from Rodgers. But I think he's looking much more comfortable than he did that first week. It looked like he just wanted to get out of there without any type of damage and whatnot. So facing a tough defense here, but I just think this one, compared to some of these numbers in the morning, I'm heavy on the unders, Jimmy, but not this one. I got to take it over here, Denver and the Jets.
The over 39.5 here for our guy Ramon Scott at minus 108. Next up, we have Commanders, Cardinals, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. We have this one set up already as Bobano moved on it with the over. Take it away. What's your plan?
I'm on it. I'm on it. If Ian's on it, I'm on it. I mean, come on. This one's 49.5, 50 or whatever, and it's obvious, I would think here. Commanders on that epic run here right now, a historic run. There's just no other way to describe it right now, Jimmy, with this consecutive scoring streak on all these possessions, whatever it is now, 14 in a row, minus the kneel downs, and I think we're going to toss those out. We all can see with our own eyes that they're just doing a very good job. I don't know if it's obviously not a sustainable thing here right now, but against a team like Arizona, why wouldn't these two guys go at it talking about Kyler Murray and my man Jaden Daniels here? I mean, you got to the Commanders, they have to keep up the pace, right? Because their defense is downright bad, 31st in passing defense right now, and they get no pressure on the quarterback here at all. They got a very fast team. There's no doubt about that. They're fun to watch. They've got exciting players on offense here. And for Murray, he's been pretty good, actually, right? With Harrison just looking terrific so far, and Murray using what he does best. He's got 161 yards rushing so far on 15 carries, so he's looked very, very nice in that department. Daniels, he's not big strike here at this point with just 2 touchdowns, but when you're clicking on nearly 80% of your passes here, I would think this one is a 31-28, one way or the other, it feels like to me. I don't know if I'd want to pick a side here necessarily, Jimmy, because there's going to be some volatility here, but how many times you sat there on those Sunday afternoon games and the last game comes down and all the games are over and they're wrapping up the red zone or whatever, and here's this one game sticking out with Arizona is up, 28-27 on some team late. So I just think that's where this one's headed in this one, with both teams heading close to 30 points here.
The over, we can get you a 48.5 right now at -109, as that's been slightly dropping. Final spot on the board for Ramon Scott, Browns, Raiders, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. There was a hope for Browns fans that Conklin would come back and save the offensive line. That is not the case. This offensive line is in shambles. Njoku out as well. There was a thought that he might be able to be back. Of course, Jedrick Wills out and others on the offensive line. Devontae Adams hurt his hamstring in practice. It swung the line heavily over towards the Browns while this was moving in the other direction all week. And then, of course, Max Crosby out as well. So big losses for the Raiders. The total here for this one is a 37, -107. This was never lower than this here at Pinnacle. I mean, there was a little bit more juice. This was juiced to -118, around 419 this morning. It's now just -108. So there were 36.5s across the board. Now we have a 37 here. And when we get to the spread, we have this at Browns -2.5 at -113. They opened up at -1 and they got to +2, and it was a +2.5 as well. And now we've completely flipped with we knew Crosby was going to be out. I capped it with Crosby out, but none of us knew that Adams would be out as well. He hurt himself in practice on Thursday. 48% of tickets, 54% of the cash on the Raiders spread. 44% of tickets, 48% cash on the Raiders money line, and 93% of tickets, but just 67% cash on the over. Take it away, Ramon. Your final spot on the board. And we got to be tight here, my guy. Browns, Raiders.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I think without Max and Garrett hobbled also for Cleveland, I think a little bit coming in here. So I am going to take advantage of maybe what looks to be like a low number here. And that weak Raiders secondary getting toasted last game by Dalton. That's fine here, I would think. And I've got Cleveland with Watson. Look, you say what you will about Watson. He's 9-6 with Cleveland right now, and they're turned into a favorite here in this game. I think with Cooper and Judy, I think you will see production from the Cleveland offense here in this one against the Raiders, who are feeling a lot of pressure certainly right now. The Raiders have allowed some big time points here, through 81 points I believe so far in the 3 games. So I also like the Raiders maybe to come back a little bit on offense. I'm coming back here with an over. The criticisms here at this point of Uncle Rico quarterback, and maybe he's going to get benched or whatever for O'Connell, but right now Uncle Rico's in there, and if he knows what to do, he better get that ball to Bowers here. I don't know if we've even seen the potential of Bowers yet. We've seen moments of brilliance already from him. Also Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers here. I don't necessarily trust Cleveland's defense on the road necessarily, even against a weak Raiders team. I just think the number's low here, and I want to take this game over. I'll get you out of here here, Jimmy, but I agree. No Max. Garrett hobbled. I'm still willing to come with the offense here a little bit in this game. I don't think these two teams are that solid. Cleveland, good on them. And I will say this. I know a lot of our guys, we've got some guys here going the game. The guys that we run with a little bit, they're all partying out here in Vegas. And this crowd, it's going to be, there's going to be some dog pound. There's going to be some dog pound over here. There's going to be some black hole over here. The Browns fans are here in town this week and probably divide this stadium up. I like the over.
You got it. Do you want 36.5 at -113?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, we'll give you that over 36.5 at -113. That's our guy, Ramon Scott. Cleveland, Las Vegas over 36.5 -113. Washington, Arizona over 48.5 -109. Denver, New York Jets over 39.5 -108. And Jacksonville, Houston under 45 at -110. And you can catch Ramon 7 days a week on the Sports Money YouTube channel with his hit show, The Morning Steam. That's at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Ramon, thank you so much for your time. And please, Ramon Scott, please support his Twitter handle. It is Ramon Scott Media, at Ramon Scott Media. Ramon, any last words, my man?
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Have a great day and good luck, everybody. And join me every day, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific for the Morning Steam. We preview the betting card and get off the air before Jimmy comes on, Jose comes on, Medicaid Monday, whatever. I'm off the air before they're on. So this is where you start your day with me, and then you go watch the rest of your shows.
I love it, Ramon. We will see you soon, my friend. We go from Las Vegas down to Houston, Texas for our next guest. 3 spots on the board that our guy is attacking. Star of NBA coverage here on Pub Sports Radio, but also a monster in NFL. Please welcome from Houston, Texas, our guy LJ from H-Town.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H, I stack green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate from down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Dabby Cab. Swing by Dallas with them Cowboy fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Connor Mack.
LJ, my man, what's good? How are you?
Doing great, Jimmy. Sunday football. You know what time it is. Time to get this cash. So let's get right to it.
Time to get this cash. And you start with your Houston Texans at home to the Jaguars. We've already set it up. So how are you getting paid, my man?
Oh, we sticking to the script, Jimmy. We're taking Houston early and often. I'm on the first half -3, and I'm taking their team total over 13.5 points. Jacksonville struggling, Jimmy. We all saw it last week, Monday night, I believe. Last 10 quarters, they've only scored 23 points total. So, and they also allowed 34 points in the first half to the Bills last week. So the fact Houston's coming back home off a loss, this is where they play their best in the first half, especially at home. 7-4 against the spread in the first half at home last year. So I'm going to stick to the script, Jimmy, take them early and often. It's just a mismatch. You know, the Jacksonville, they can't pass the ball or stop the pass. So they only averaging 26 minutes time of possession. So they're not on the field enough to even get possessions and points. So I think the Texans handle business. They just need to clean up the penalties. Last 2 games, 23 penalties, 203 yards. So Texans clean up those penalties, especially on the offensive side with the offensive line. But I don't see them, you know, having any struggles versus Jacksonville. So I'm going to take them early, first half and team total over.
Texans first half -3 at -117 available right now at Pinnacle, and team total over 13.5 at -104 at Pinnacle as well. We move on to the next spot on the board, and it is Steelers Colts. We just have talked about the injuries on the defensive end with DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore, and Kwity Paye. Now their star center is out of the lineup. This is news that was brought to our attention here from Slatsy in the chat. We've talked about the Steelers' injuries to Highsmith, Herbig replacing him, Jalen Warren, so Cardell Patterson replacing him. But, of course, Najee Harris is going to be the starting running back. We've already set this one up. Take it away, LJ, Steelers Colts.
Yeah, Jimmy, another mismatch here. We just going to stick to the script. I'm on the under, 40.5. I don't think the Colts are going to be able to score in this game. Richardson has been struggling for the most part. You know, he makes a lot of mistakes. He's not really accurate. And when he gets in trouble, he likes to scramble out. And I think that's going to eventually hurt him in the long run. Plus, I don't believe the offensive line is going to hold up versus this Pittsburgh hellacious defense. 9 sacks, 21 quarterback hits already on the season, number 1 in total points allowed. So Steelers going to run the ball, wear down the Colts defense, because that's what they're going to do. Run the ball, pound the ball. I see a lot of field goal kicking in this game, but to stick to the script, making it official, under 40.5 is my play.
Under 40.5. And I imagine you came close to taking them on the side.
Yeah, I did. I came close, but I'm just going to stick to what's been working.
The under 40.5 here, and I can get you that at minus 105. Under 40.5, minus 105. Final spot on the board for our guy LJ from H-Town. Washington Commanders at Arizona Cardinals, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Take it away, my man.
Yeah, Jimmy, it's going to be a doozy. Both of these teams put up points. Babano already explained it, plus Ramon. I'm looking at both quarterbacks in this game for the most, but I'm on the over. You can lock me down, over 49. Both of these teams, Cardinals averaging 27, Washington averaging 26. That puts you over right there. They're both top 5 in first half scoring as well. He mentioned Jane Daniels, man, 80 completion percentages, number 1 in the NFL. So rookie coming out right now, leading the league in completion percentage. You can't ignore that. As far as Kyler Murray, I see the storyline. Cliff Kingsbury's coming back to play his old team. So I'm pretty sure he's going to have some offensive plays dialed up, just to show that I possibly have the better quarterback that can make plays rather what Kyler Murray did under his tutelage. So I believe it's going to be a chess match in this game, but I see a lot of points. I see them early. And I also want to give you 2 props in this game, Jimmy. I'm going to take Kyler Murray's over 1.5 touchdown passes, minus 150. Simply because Washington defense, they give up 255 passing yards, ranked 31st, and they're allowing 280 yards on the road, giving up 28 points 9 out of the last 12 games. So plus 15 out of the last 18 quarterbacks that's played Washington, they've given up 2+ touchdowns. So that's an ultimate trend that we can't ignore. And I'm going to the other side, Jimmy. I'm going to take Jane Daniels anytime touchdown. And I believe I got it at plus 110, simply because Arizona has trouble with versatile running dual quarterbacks. They gave up a lot of touchdowns to quarterbacks last year. Josh Allen had 2 rushing touchdowns already in week 1. And I believe Jane Daniels is going to be able to make plays. He likes to stand in the pocket and make passes, but if he has to run, he's going to run the ball. And the fact that he's averaging 10+ carries already in 3 games with 3 rushing touchdowns, I believe he's going to have an opportunity to do it today. So those are my 2 props, plus I'm on the over 49.
Well, we can get you a 48 now. That's how far it's been dropping. So a 48 at minus 110 available at Circa from our friend Coin. We gave the other guys 48.5 minus 109, but it looks like it continues to drop. Shout out to our guy Scumbag with a $5 dono. Play today, Real Madrid. DND minus 125 for Scump Blaster. And look at our guy, Birdie, our NFL Pub Hub leader right now, gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. What a guy he is, Birdie. We love you. For our guy, LJ's on Jaden Daniels, anytime touchdown, plus 110. Kyler Murray over 1.5 touchdowns at minus 150, and the over 48, minus 110. Then he's on the under 40.5 in Pittsburgh, Indianapolis Colts, and Texas first half minus 3 at minus 117, and team total over 13.5 at minus 104 for our guy, LJ from H-Town. LJ, what's going on with the Raw Words podcast? Let us know about it.
Hey, I just put out my props early this morning, put out my 5 best props going on right now. So y'all gonna check it out right now on YouTube. Type in LJ from Houston. It'll come right up. So check out the show. And can't wait to join you again Sunday night, Jimmy. We rocking tonight.
Man. Let's do it.
All right, buddy. I'll see you then. Let's get it. Let's catch.
I look forward to it. There's our guy, LJ from H-Town. We're in Houston, and we head south now. We head all the way down to Costa Rica, Escazú. Costa Rica in the house. Your next guest was spectacular last year on our NFL Pub Hub. Top 5 all season long. Carried that through the playoffs and was richly rewarding his friends, followers, family, and colleagues. And this is his season debut right now. So please welcome our guy, Flash Gordon, to the house. Flash, what's good? We miss you, man.
Yeah, I've just took the bulletproof vest off. Week 1, 2, and 3. I tell you what, I've done well to be hibernating. Don't get me wrong, I've had a few bets and obviously lower stakes. And the problem is they went really well. I dodged a lot of the bullets, and now I'm thinking, now I'm coming out like this, like the bear, and someone's got me in their sights. But no, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. No excuses apart from the injuries, I guess.
Yes, I respect how you handle the first 3 weeks. We talked before the season started, and Flash said week 4, lock me in, and I'll get you that cash. Let's get right to work. Bengals, Panthers. We haven't talked about this spot yet. Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Weather has cleared up. 79 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. Trent Brown out, but their first round pick this year, I believe, is Mims, is going to replace Trent Brown, hopefully. But the issue is Sheldon Rankins and BJ Hill are both out for this poor Bengals defense that's not looked good this year. For the Panthers, Deontay Johnson with the groin injury, they need him good to go. And their guard, Robert Hunt, they need him good to go. Both are questionable right now for the Panthers, as is Lonnie Johnson. He's out with the hip injury, a cornerback there. Let's get into the line history here for Bengals Panthers. We have this total right now over at Pinnacle at 46.5 minus 114 to the over. This opened up 47.5, so we've dropped a point. When we get to the point spread here for us, we have a 4.5 at minus 105. This opened up right here, and now it's at minus 106. So it's exactly where it opened. And cash flow wise here for the Bengals Panthers, we have 72% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the Cincinnati Bengals. The line's not moving. 88% tickets and 81% cash on the over. Take it away for us, Flash, your first spot of the year. Bengals.
Yeah, we can't go near either of these sides, money line or spreads. I mean, Panthers meant to be going 0-17, and then obviously Dalton comes in and plays against a Raiders side who were complete trash. What I saw from Bengals body language last week is on D, they don't give a shit. And for me, that means that it's going to be an overs game at 47. But for Bengals to be over 26 points, I'm going with a team total. Bengals have to get over maybe 28 here to even stand a chance. And I don't believe that they will still win the game at 28. So I'm thinking low-hanging fruit here is the favourites' points, because they can't stay in a tight game because they can't stop anybody. And that means that if they're in the fourth quarter and they're within 3 or 4, they are still going to get beaten because their body language are not up for the fight. They've shown that. So for me, I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to go with a team total, Bengals over 26.
We got a 26.5 here. Do you have a flat 26 somewhere?
No, I did have, but I don't mind 26.5 because obviously I still need 27 to get paid.
Yep, absolutely. Over 26.5. It's available right now at Pinnacle minus 116. I will keep looking at other spots. Next up for our guy, Flash from BetUS, coming to us from Costa Rica. We have Cleveland Browns, Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. Flash, we've already set this up, so let's hear how you're getting paid.
Okay, I think this is my over. Basically because all the defensive weapons are not there. So I don't think there's going to be much pressure from Browns to Raiders or Raiders to Browns. So that means you or I could be sitting in the pocket, and there's going to be points on the board. I think the 36.5 could get blown out. I mean, I'm only look what 2017 we get paid. I'm like, come on now. Both of these sides are going to put up points. I think the Browns, because the big thing about Watson is that he sits there and he's got no pressure. He can do as he wants, and we can all do that. He has got talent. It's when you move him off of his pedestal that he becomes the problem. So I'm just really simple. Over 37, it's too low. If you've got 36.5, then it just gives us that extra hook to get paid. If you ask me about this game, it could get out of hand as well, because I don't see either team stopping the other.
We can get you that over 36.5 at minus 113. Flash rolling. Next up for you, Flash, Jaguars, Texans, Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. We've already set this one up, so take it away.
Yeah, it's all about the Texans for me, only because I can't see how the Jags roll into the Texans off of a defeat and they don't beat them by 7. Now, anything over than that, I'd be worried, because obviously I don't like them, because I need to be up 15 going into the final quarter, or else I get done with a garbage touchdown. But you're giving me 5.5, 6, then I see the Texans being up near enough all game. And the big problem we have with Lawrence is when he's chased the game, he's not built to come from behind. So I expect the Texans to be up at halftime, and I think they cover the 5.5, 6, no problem whatsoever, because desperational Lawrence is not a good QB, and it's not a good look.
He has not looked good. That is true. Texans -5.5 at -110 for our guy Flash, back in business, top 5. I believe he was 4th overall last year. Overall, in the entire season 3, he's been great on this program. This is his season 4 with us. Take it away. Your final spot on the board: Broncos, New York Jets, MetLife Stadium. Skunk Blaster. I will absolutely ask Flash that question, my friend. Thank you for the dono, and we reciprocate your love towards our friend Flash. Broncos, Jets, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. 62 Fahrenheit shower, 6 miles per hour. We've set this one up. Tell us how you're getting paid.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get paid because I've gone with the Jets to be leading at half time. I think it was like -4. Maybe there was some freeing up, but now obviously if that's moved to -9, then I'm probably I'm not looking good, because the reason I'm not going with the Jets at -9 is because I've just said I need to be up 16 going into the final quarter, because a garbage touchdown then absolutely kills me when I really have better winner and I pick up nothing. But the Jets at home early get themselves in front, and the good thing is with Rodgers is he could be on the 20-25 yard line, 4th and 1. They're not taking the free. They're going to be going for 7s, and you know that it's all about the 2-score lead. So get up early, and then I think they dominate the Broncos. But because the number's too big, I don't want to get done back door. So home field advantage. Rodgers feeling if he's like cock of the north. Some people have got him potentially being in the MVP race as well. And if he's going to stay in that race, he needs to put away the Broncos at home. So, halftime. Basically, I think it was like -4. Is it still what's it
we
now?
We can get you a -4 at -122.
Yeah, we've got to take it.
Let's take it. Jets first half -4 at -122 for Flash. Texans -5.5 at -110. Cleveland, Las Vegas over 36.5 at -113. Bengals team total over 26.5 at -116. The question for the comment from Skunk Blaster said, Flash, before you go, please tell everybody why Madrid DNB is the play today. And he says, Flash, the GOAT, respect.
Okay, so basically you said for me to tell you why Madrid is draw no bet is the play is because they're both called Madrid. Okay, but he's got the wrong side of it because he's gone Real Madrid, draw no bet. And my banker of the weekend is Atletico Madrid at home, fully strengthed up, and Real Madrid not fully strengthened. No Mbappe. There's a couple of others. And also you've got to be looking out for Real Madrid play in Europe this week, as do Atletico. So Atletico at home for me. I don't see them getting beat. But you see nearly everyone you talk to is say draw no bet. Mainly, maybe you should just go with a draw.
I love it, Flash. It's so great to have you back in business with us. We've the Breeders' Cup.
We've got the Breeders' Cup. Obviously, I've already bet City of Troy, and obviously we'll go down all the rest because obviously the price was just too big.
What did you get City of Troy at?
Plus 475.
Oh, that's a nice price, yeah.
But the other one is I'm doing the Champions League tomorrow, but I've already gone and done my futures, and I've gone with Liverpool to win at around plus 1,400. But plus 1,200 is still available, near enough right across the board. I think they're perfectly set up for Champions League football. They've got a great squad. They're all proper European internationals who on that stage feel like they're cock of the north. And now we've got problems with Man City's top man being out for the season. So I've gotten them maybe second or third favourites, and certainly not no bigger than plus 700. And you can still pick up plus 1,200 Liverpool.
I love it, Flash. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Star of Bet US, we have Flash rolling with us. Flash, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show? Anything you want them to know about what you got?
No, it's the same old, same old. If you're with me, let's go and cash. If you're not, then we'll show you the money.
I love it. There he is. Flash Gordon in the house. Now we head back up north to Dallas, Texas. We have the star of Medicate Mondays and the Tailgate. Please welcome our friend Dabby Cab to the show. Dabby, how are you, my man?
Ready to rock, Jimmy. Ready to
2
go,
and
man.
1 plus 0.86 units to start off the year. You're sitting in 6th place right now out of 16 cappers here on NFL Pub Up. Let's get you to break into the top 5 with a winning performance here. And Dabby Cab, you start with Saints Falcons. We've set it up, my man. It's great to see you on screen as always. We love capping with you. Take it away, Saints Falcons.
Yeah, and I'll be quick, man. Let me get this thing back on track. Just tell you guys where I'm at. There's no way that Atlanta's going to lose their 3rd game at home, right? Got a lot of people that were really high on these Falcons preseason. A lot of people that I respect, and I get it. We expected a ton out of this offense, so no way they lose their 3rd game at home, right? Well, I don't know about that, man. 26 in points per game right now, just averaging 16.3 points per game. They're a little banged up, like Robinson's a little banged up. I don't think Atlanta's as good as some people thought they were going to be, and I think that's just all there is to it. And I think, if you look into this meeting, Saints have won 7 of their last 9, 4 of their last 5 in Atlanta. Give me the Saints here early in the first half, plus 1.5. I like them to come out quick. I think their offense will come out firing after struggling week 3 compared to the first 2 weeks.
Saints first half. Now this is dropping a little bit, so we can get you I guess I'll line shot. Well, why don't we just take a look over here quickly to see? So, because the plus ones are everywhere, but 1.5s might cost something. Let me just see exactly what.
Just give me whatever the best line is for this. I tweeted it out, but whatever for this.
Oh, what did you tweet out at?
Plus 1.5. I think I got. Let me check my juice.
Actually, I can get you a minus 111 right now. But if you tweeted it out, just give me what you got.
Yeah, I got minus 115 on what I tweeted out. So
Saints first half plus 1.5. Okay, minus 115. Okay, dope. Tweeted it all out. Saints first half plus 1.5 and minus 115. Dabby Cab on the board. Fresh off yet another winning day in college football yesterday for our guy Dabracadabra. We move over to Sunday gridiron action and the Sunday nighter. I hope you have a blunt ready for us tonight, Dabby Cab. We're going to have so much fun. This is my Friday night. I can't wait to rock Bills, Ravens with everybody. M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland. We've already set up the game. How you getting paid?
Prime time. Jackson. That's when you take his rushing prop, especially in a game like this, okay? He's hit his prop 2 out of 3 times this year. He's averaging 82 yards per game, 7.3 yards per carry. And like I said, he's got it 2 out of 3 games. This is a game where they're going to have to set up run first against this Bills defense, okay? The Bills secondary is they're strong, right? They're stout. And I think Baltimore is going to really look to establish the run in this game. And that's it. I'm going to let it stay quick. I like Lamar Jackson's rushing prop. I bet it at 56.5, and that's where I'm at.
Lamar Jackson over 56.5 rush yards. And what was the juice?
Minus 113.
Locked and loaded, Dabby Cab. And then we move to the Monday nighter. This is the lone capper talking about this football game on today's show, which does give us a lot to use when we get there for our double header live stream tomorrow. Tennessee Titans, Miami Dolphins, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida, 85 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour is the wind. They are praying in Nashville that L'Jarius Sneed and Amani Hooker are both available to play. Amani Hooker, the safety, L'Jarius Sneed, the cornerback, both questionable. Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive tackle, will not be in the lineup. Teron Armstead, we said it, and Kendall Fuller, we said it on Tuesday. No one's rushing back. Now, Snoop Huntley is at quarterback, but no one's rushing back from concussion to represent the Dolphins here. And that's the case. Both Snead and Hooker practiced on Saturday, so we expect them to be in the lineup. Let's get into the line history here. This is tomorrow night action. We have, I got the first half up. Sorry, my bad. Let me just get to the full game here. We have the Dolphins minus 1.5 at minus 122 here at Pinnacle. There are 2.5s across the board right now. And on the total, we have this sitting right now at 37 minus 107 to the under. This opened up at 37.5, so it's a half-point move towards that under. And when we get to the cash flow, we have grab it. Here we go. We have on the side 64% of the tickets and 73% of the cash on the Titans, 23% of the tickets, but 75% of cash on the under. Take it away for us, Dabby Cab. Game 3, your final spot on the board.
Again, keeping this quick. I have more of a breakdown on the sides and totals, but I'm not just going to do that because that's not what this show's about. So I'm going to go straight to where I'm at. I've followed Devon Achane close, okay? Since he was at A&M, I've been betting him, right? And just like anything I bet, whether it's a Yordan Alvarez prop, I don't blindly bet anything. I look for the right spot. this is the right spot right here. Both these teams are struggling. The Titans defense right now, 18th run defense in the league. And I think this is a spot where the Dolphins are going to they're going to be very methodical with their offense. It's going to be short passes. It's going to be, quick jet sweeps. It's going to be a lot of, like I said, short, quick action plays. And Devon Achane is the guy for that. He didn't hit his prop last week, but he got the ball plenty. This is just a different story against a little bit worse Titans defense. So I didn't only take his rushing prop. I took his receiving prop at over 23.5 at -110. Because like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of swing passes, screen passes, things just to try and, get this offense comfortable. They're not going to be taking deep shots here. It's not what's going to be happening. So I got his passing prop, and then I also got his rushing prop over 58.5 at -110.
Over 50.5 at -110. Double up here to get us rolling on our Monday night doubleheader live stream. To review, Achane over 23.5 receiving yards -110, over 58 rush yards at -110. Lamar Jackson over 56.5 rush yards at -113, and the Saints first half +1.5 at -115 for our guy Dabby Cab. Dabby Cab, after your baseball practices, can you rock with us tonight? We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I'll jump on for sure. At least probably it'll be second half, but I'll be there for sure.
I love it. I love it. There he is, the star of Medicate Mondays, which we're just 24 hours away from. Gotta rock with Medicate Mondays. The stars, co-hosts here, Dabby Cab and Dutch Boy Fresh, and of course the tailgate and our live stream. Great job yesterday. And Dabby Cab, we love rocking with you. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Oh, man, let's get paid today. Make sure and follow all these guys that are coming on screen. You got a bunch of great cappers. I see them back there waiting. So I'm going to get out of the way and let them get rocking, Jimmy. Let's get paid.
Hey, it's great to have you, my man. There he is, Dabby Cab. We moved from Dabby Cab up to California, and we have a NFL Pub Hub debut. Watching this guy Cap and watching him on screen, I'm like, why did it take so long for us to start rocking with him on screen? Please welcome the NFL Pub Hub debut of our guy, the Sweaty Butcher, in the house. What's up, my man? How are you?
What's up, Jamie? Thanks for having me today.
Oh, it's our pleasure, my man. Let's get right to work. Now, of course, Sweaty Butcher, known for the surf and turf play of the day. Been rocking that for years and cashing it nonstop. We're going to close with surf and turf. He, of course, cashed with that on our live stream on our very last show at plus 213. I want to say about 213. But let's get to work. Sweaty Butcher. We start with Jaguars, Texans. Take it away.
All right. You guys already went over all the good stuff, so I'm just going to get into it. I'm on Texans -5.5 today. CJ he's 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the spread off a loss, and that loss last week was not their team. They're coming back big. I think this is a good get right spot for them against this Jags team that's just seemingly getting worse every week. It's hard to find a bright star for me in this Jags team at all. So mostly fading them. They're 1-5 straight up and ATS off a loss. The Jags are. I don't know. I don't think the Jags have nothing here. It's a bad spot for them again. I just really like CJ Stroud, and the Texans have bounced back here, so I'm on him -5.5.
-5.5 here on the Texans at -108. Ramon talking about the Butcher's Cut play of the day. Yes, multiple famous plays here for our guy, the Sweaty Butcher. But we're turfing today to close out the show. But that's not our next spot. Our next spot is Commanders Cardinals, and this is already set up as well. So take it away.
Okay. Yeah, I like the Commanders here today, +3.5. They're 5-1 straight up and 6-0 ATS as a dog off a win. Jaden's really starting to feel it. They looked like a problem last week for any defense. I know their defense themselves just has a couple holes in it there, but I could see this being a really offensive-sided game. And I think Commanders could just keep up. Cardinals are 1-5 ATS as a home fave off a win. That was another angle I looked at. And they're also 1-7 ATS and straight up as a home favorite in their last 8 games. No Trey McBride's got to hurt a little bit there. I know Kyler has a couple weapons there still, but On the other side, no Eckler. I don't think that's a big problem. Maybe they miss him a little bit in the receiving, but I think Noah Brown and maybe McCaffrey could step up a little bit there. I just see this being a close game all the way to the end and maybe a field goal. I'm not sure if the Commanders win or not, but I could see it kind of going back and forth, and I'll take the plus side on this one.
You got it. The Eckler injury, I do think hurts a little bit, but Trey McBride out on the other side, so each team loses an important offensive weapon, which kind
I
of
agree.
is sort of a draw, I feel. So Commanders plus 3.5 and minus 110. That's available. Will Hill. I'll see if I can beat that here while we're talking about the first leg of Surf and Turf. The first leg of Surf and Turf is Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers. And there was a change of weather in Green Bay, and this plays nicely into the first leg of our guy, Sweaty Butcher, Surf and Turf. Vikings, Packers, now 72 Fahrenheit, sunny, 12 mile per hour winds. Take it away, my man.
Yeah. So I'm looking Packers side here, and we're looking at the field goals. Braden Narvison, I think his name, Narvison, right? He's hit 3 field goals in 3 games. He's had 4 attempts in 2 games. So they're getting down there. They're kicking field goals. They're taking 3 points when they can. He's 11 of 9 on the season. One of those was a doink by 43-yard doink, just barely missed it. So he's been pretty spot on. The over 1.5 field goals here just seemed like a pretty decent spot. I could see at least 2 field goals here, if not 3. Minnesota's defense is a little tough, so I could see a couple red zone stops or maybe even 40-yard field goals, 45-yard field goals, and 2 just seems like a good piece of steak there.
Over 1.5 field goals. Now you said you also are, with on the Packer side. That's not an official spot for you, or do you want to make it?
No, it's not. I didn't make that official. But okay. I do lean heavy Packers. I have them in a teaser, actually. So
over 1.5 field goals at minus 118 is the first leg of Surf and Turf. The second leg of Surf and Turf comes in Eagles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. 88 Fahrenheit, scattered thunderstorm, 6 miles per hour. It's important to keep an eye on these thunderstorms. We have Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, and Lane Johnson all out. And Kalijah Cansey and Antoine Winfield out on the other side. We expect Vita Vey, to play, which is a big deal. And Bucky Irving, we're hoping will play because Rachaad White is dealing with an illness of some kind, so he's questionable. I did move on the Buccaneers, but I do certainly need Bucky or Rachaad in the lineup. Take it away for us here. The second leg of Surf and Turf, Eagles, Buccaneers.
Yeah. Well, I think you're on the right side, Jimmy. I think Bucky does play and probably has a big game. But for the lobster, we got the steak with the field goals. For the lobster, we're going to go look at Saquon Barkley. You mentioned all those injuries to the Eagles offense. And not only has he already been heavily involved in this offense, now there's no choice. They got to lean on him heavy here. Saquon Barkley, he's averaging 3.3 receptions a game. Almost 4 targets a game. His last 2 games, he's had 4 receptions. So I'm looking at Saquon Barkley over 18 rush yards is our second piece.
Receiving yards.
Receiving yards. I'm sorry. Yep, receiving yards. That's our second piece of the Surf and Turf. That adds up to a plus 194 2-teamer. Feels good. Feels like a good spot. I did a lot of research looking throughout everything, and I like where both of these are like really solid.
We watch you cash Surf and Turf for years. Surf and Turf is the Packers over 1.5 field goals at minus 118. Barkley over 18 receiving yards at minus 169. Together, that's a plus 194. Then we have the Sweaty Butcher on Texans minus 5.5 at minus 108. And the Commanders plus 3.5 at minus 110 for our guy, the Sweaty Butcher. Please go out and support our guy, the Sweaty Butcher. I'm going to put his Twitter handle, his X handle here in the chat. Take a second and go and subscribe to our guy, the Sweaty Butcher. I love rocking with you, Sweaty Butcher. We got 2 live streams tonight, tomorrow night, so I'll be in touch with you and see what works best for you to hop on and rock with us. Because we watched you cash that surf and turf live with us, and it was very enjoyable. Thank you for rocking with us, Sweaty Butcher. Man, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, let's go get that cash. Everybody in the chat, Kong's Clips, all my homies, Birdie, everybody. Let's go. Let's do it.
There he is, the Sweaty Butcher. More great Cali Cappers being represented here on Pub Sports Radio. And there's one in the chat with Noli Knows in the house. Let's move on to our next guest. I cannot fathom how our next guest has not been more on screen. Now, I know he's got a big job, very important job, and he works very hard, and he still makes time to jump into our chat and give us his play of the day. But I was like, man, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. Let's get this guy on camera with us, and he is here making his NFL Pub Hub debut, and he should have been rocking with us earlier. Please welcome the man known for his spreadsheet prowess, our guy, Ron Crawford. Ronnie, baby, it's been too long since I've had a chance to rock with you. Look at you live and in color. Finally, we got Ron Crawford live. Finally. How are you, my man?
I'm good, man. You know, I told Jose we got to change that because I'm a rocker. I'm not like a jazz guy. And Wendy says, you know, that little graphic like makes me look like Rain Man. So we need to change that graphic to like a rock theme. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. We can work
I'm
with
rocking
that.
the Highway to Hell Saturday night and Stairway to Heaven in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
We can rock with that. You're getting a ton of love from the Cappers in the chat.
It's
Ron.
great to be on this side of the fence. I like it. Yeah.
Oh man, it's been too long. I love seeing you here rocking with us. Ron, let's get to work right away. We start with Saints Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Both teams lost their starting centers last week, and now the supposed replacement Cesar Ruiz is out for the Saints. This is a fascinating divisional battle here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Take it away, Saints Falcons.
Yeah, and that's what I look at. It's a divisional battle. And if you look at the Saints, they're 7-1 as a road dog in the division, under 3 points. I got to go with the Saints here. You know, they're still going to be able to rush the ball. And Atlanta's given up 150 yards on the ground. So I got to go with the Saints here. Actually, I'm going to take them on the money line, plus 130 at Hard Rock Bet.
Yes, and we'll see if we can beat any of those numbers here as well, because we give out what is available unless it's tweeted out. So I will line shop for you, but we have Saints money line for Ron Crawford to get himself going.
And that's a spreadsheet dog of the day too.
And that is the spreadsheet dog of the day. Okay, spreadsheet dog of the day is this one as well. Dog of the day. Beautiful. Okay, so next up for us, Ron, is Bengals Panthers. Now this one's already set up, so take it away.
Yeah, we got to get the Bengals. Bengals got to get a win here. That's all there is to it. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they got to get a win and not better opportunity with Carolina going into Vegas and winning straight up as a road dog. If you look at the Bengals coming against a road dog that won straight up, they are 7-0 as a favorite. I'm going to take the Bengals minus 4.5.
Let's take that. Let's get that set up for you. The Bengals, and see if there was. No. Oh, yeah. I might be able to just as an offer here if you want the 4.
Yeah, give me the 4.
If you want the 4, the minus. Sorry, my kid's yelling. Minus 4 at minus 115 or 4.5 at minus 105.
Yeah, give me minus 4.
Minus 4 at minus 115. You are locked in. Minus 4 here at minus 115. Ron Crawford making his NFL Pub Hub debut. Next up, Chiefs Chargers, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And everybody knows Ron's handle, Ron KC Fan. What's your plan here for Chiefs Chargers?
Yeah, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, South Kansas City. I actually played for Greg Williams in high school. Remember that guy? I
Oh,
wish I had
wow.
a bounty in high school. I could have made some money. But you know, here's the thing. Andy Reid absolutely hates playing the Chargers, and I tell you why. Because they have our number. And if you look at Mahomes and going into, I want to say San Diego. Sorry about that, Noli. But, you know, when they go to the Chargers, it's always a tight game, 34-28, 34-31, 27-24. And Herbert's probably one of the guys that's beaten the Chiefs the most. I look at this one, the Chiefs are actually a 3-0 team that could be 0-3, honestly. I mean, and I'm a Chiefs fan. I look at that. They squeaked by 3 opponents where they could have gone the other way. So I'm going to take the Chargers and get plus the points here. It could be an outright upset, but there's a lot of injuries on the Chargers. But I look for that defense. You know, that may be the problem. So we're going to take the Chargers plus the 7.5 at -110, and I think it's down to 7 now. I'll still take the 7 though.
Well, we can get you that 7.5 here. I believe it's -117. Let me just do a quick double check if we still want the hook. Yes, plus 7.5 -117.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That'll work. 7.5.
Plus
I'll take it.
7.5 at -117. Chargers plus 7.5 -117. Bengals -4 at -115. Saints plus 125 is the play of the day.
That'll work.
Dog spreadsheet dog of the day. And Ron, my man, let everybody know, where can they find your day-to-day action other than we love it that you drop it on Betting with the Bag. It means so much to us. But where else can they find your action, my friend?
Yeah, you know, like I said, I work as a contractor on a naval base. I try to sneak out once in a while during lunch and, you know, throw the play in the chat. Today's spreadsheet dog of the day in MLB is the Colorado Rockies. Go ahead and grab that now. And we're going to, you know, keep coming as long as I can. I'm at Ron KC Fan on Twitter, so you can check out the action. Now you put some KBO, and I always have a prime time 6-point teaser, which is now 5-3 on the year. So check that out for tonight's game with Baltimore and Buffalo.
Ron, I popped your Twitter handle in the chat. Please go support our guy, Ron, and please send our love to Wendy. And it's so great to have you rocking with us. We love so much. And, you know, also we sent so much love to your daughter as well. It's so great that she's back healthy and rocking. So just love Crawford family, my friend. And thank you for making your debut. Crush it this week. Let's get you on the top 5 right away and have you back next week, Ron, my man. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Nah, I love all you guys. Thanks for all the good comments. I'm checking my phone right now, so pretty cool there. So thanks a lot, guys, and let's cash some tickets.
There he is, Ron Crawford. Man, this is great. Just having Sweaty Butcher, Ron Crawford back to back, making their NFL pub-up debuts is exactly just. I love it. I love every second of it, and I love bringing on your next guest. I continually say over and over again, and I mean it. There has not been a more consistent capper in the history of our show than your next guest. Now, he made his debut last year, and it was a revelation. He came second overall. He was spectacular all season long. And this year, nothing's changed. Over 2 shows, he's 7-3 plus 3.76 units. All this guy does is win. And that's why we have him on as much as possible. Please welcome star of the Brothers and Bets YouTube channel, our guy Marley in the house. Marley, what's good, man? How are you?
Yo, what is going down? What's the deal? I'm here.
It is uncanny. And I don't want to make too big of a scene about it, but I don't believe in luck and bad luck. And I do talk about it nonstop every show. And you just keep winning, Marley. And we'd like to see it, man. We all like to see it. So shout out to Brothers and Bets. And I know you coach a young football team. So thank you so much for making time for us on these Sundays. Marley, my man, let's get right to work. Yes, Sweaty Butcher dropped his 6-point teaser. Washington plus 9.5, Rams plus 9, Green Bay plus 3.5 at plus 150. Absolutely, Sweaty Butcher, my man. And my apologies for kind of rushing there. So let me just get that right here under your action for the teaser. Marley, let's get right to work. And just like your fellow Houston native LJ from H-Town, we get started right away with the Texans at home against the Jags. Take it away.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna be too long. I know I'm quick in and out. I know we already broke this game down several times, and I'm like everybody else. I'm on the Texans minus 5.5. I don't see Jacksonville being able to do much. They can't protect. Trevor Lawrence is one of the main problems. I think our pass rush is going to get to him. I don't think he's going to be successful throwing the ball. They don't really run the ball too much. I'm slightly concerned in not having a run game. I think that's what hurt us in Minnesota, along with that defense. But like Sweaty Butcher said earlier, CJ on the bounce back. I think 6-1 after a loss. I expect the Texans home crowd be feeding them to come in here and just spank the Jaguars personally. So I'm on the Texans minus the 5.5 divisional game. They'll be up for this one. Easy win at the crib for the nation.
Texans minus 5.5. We can give you right now at minus 107 at home against the Jaguars. So, your next spot on the board, Steelers, Colts. I have bet the Steelers about 20 minutes ago, a minus 2.5. I found a way to excuse Herbig's 2 sacks after Highsmith went out. I was like, look, the Chargers offensive line was decimated. Alt was out. They were exhausted, and Herbig took advantage. So I was like, I still think Herbig is a big drop, obviously, after Highsmith. And I found a way past Kenny Moore's injury, DeForest Buckner's injury, Kwity Paye's injury. But now hearing their star center is not in the lineup, and here comes in, a rookie against the Steelers. I had it heard enough. I know people are on either side of the total, so I'll just let that go, even though I do lean to the under. But I am now on the Steelers minus 2.5, minus 108. Come in and rock with us, Marley. Steelers, Colts.
Yeah, look, I said this previous times I've been on the show. And it's early. I don't know, Jimmy, at what point do you start talking this is a trend? We're only at week 3, 4. So I don't know at what point do you begin to say this is a trend. But since the season started, I've been on Steelers spread and the under. And I'm not going to change that against this Indianapolis Colts team that, one, they can't score. I don't think they're going to be able to score against the defense. Richardson is going to turn the ball over. What does he have? 6 interceptions already, and only I don't even think I wrote down his touchdowns, but 58.3 QBR. He's going to turn up. If he's not throwing the ball 60 yards down the field, what is he doing? He's going to be running for his life. And to top everything off, the Colts are banged up, and they can't stop the run when they were healthy. What do the Steelers do? Run the ball. They're going to pound this Colts team. The game is definitely going under. Unless you're going to tell me maybe the Colts beat them over the top twice for long bombs and 2 or 3 times. That's the only way I can see that happening. Other than that, the total's going under. You said it yourself. Rookie center. This is a hell of a debut to make at this defensive line. I've preached this since the trade. Patrick Queen coming over. You saw a lot of people talk about McDaniels leaving the Ravens. That's a key, leaving the Ravens too. Patrick Queen coming over to the Steelers just is a perfect fit for that defense. That's where they were weakest at previous years, and they've already had a stiff defense to add him, and now they're healthy. I'm just not jumping off this bandwagon until I'm just so I'm all over the Steelers here, and we need a minus 2.5 and
You've been cashing and cashing and cashing. Razor Sharp Pick says Colts plus 2.5. Big overreaction. I had stayed off the side until they lost Kelly as well this morning, and I finally, I finally moved. But I had thought that there was some of that Razor involved. But how many players can you take off of the Colts? But be very interesting to see how this bangs out here in Razor on the other side. Let's get into our Sunday nighter. Marley, our Sunday nighter, Bills, Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. You already talked about Queen leaving the Ravens towards the Steelers. We've set this one up here. This is our Sunday night live stream. What's your plan?
Yeah, man, tough one. I'm on the Ravens here in the first half.
First half Ravens.
That's their spot. I think it's minus half a point. The key for the Ravens, I said this last week against the Cowboys. I think I said it the week with the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken. Just run the ball. Just run the ball. You got Henry last week or against the Cowboys, 25 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. If he touches the ball 25 times, they win this game. And that's the thing. I know everybody's super. I feel like the Bills, man, don't we do this every year with the Bills? Like, oh, they're the best team. Oh, Josh Allen is on Patrick Mahomes' ass. He's right there. I haven't been talking to the mic the whole time. He's right there. They look phenomenal. Who the hell have they played? And I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm not saying they're not as good, but I just look at the schedule. Like they beat Miami, but we don't think. What do we think of Miami? They beat the Cardinals, yeah, and they beat Jacksonville, yeah. So I'm not ready to crown them yet. I'm not. They're gonna have to go into Baltimore. Extremely tough place to play. Night game. I think we get Superman Lamar Jackson tonight. He normally plays big in these big games. I think if they just run the ball, Jimmy, if we can get Derrick Henry 25, 26, 27 carries, we're good. I don't do the full game because they tend to blow fourth quarter leads, and it scares me, to be honest with you. They just, I don't know. And McDonald leaving, the secondary, it's showing his presence. They're not as good on the back end as they have been, but I'm not ready to crown Buffalo quite ready. They go on the road and get a big win tonight, then maybe I'll think differently. But as of right now, no, I like the Ravens. I like them early to jump on them, and we'll see if they can hold on late. But give me that first half. I think it's minus half a point.
Yes, Ravens first half minus a half at minus 108 there. Ravens first half minus a half minus 108. Also, we have here Texans minus 5.5, and then Steelers full game. Let's get you the best line there. That was a full game spot with the Steelers, right?
Yes.
Steelers full game minus 2.5 at minus 107. So we are now at, I believe it's 15 shows, and the worst performance you've ever had is 2 and 3.
I was gonna say put the 2 and 3 day. I was pissed that day too.
It's just uncanny the way you just continue to deliver and deliver and deliver, and he asks for nothing in return. If you guys want to rock with our guy Marley, rock with the Brothers and Bets YouTube channel. I'm a subscriber. Tell everybody a little bit about Brothers and Bets YouTube channel.
Facts, man. Catch us on Wednesdays. Took this Wednesday off. I had a big Little League game Saturday, and the other team was talking a little, so I had to go shut them up yesterday. So we took Wednesday off. But every Wednesday, college show at night, 8:00. Me and LJ from Houston, we break down the NFL show about 4:00-ish. And that's it, man. Follow me personally. I share as much as I can at Marley_bets. It's right there. And as always, let's beat Vegas. God damn it.
I love it. I love it. I love rocking with Marley and Brothers in Bets. Shout out to Coach, one of his partners in Brothers in Bets. And of course, we love LJ so much. So shout out to Marley, Brothers in Bets. Thank you so much for making time for us. We roll into our final guest here of the show. It's been too long since I've had the pleasure of rocking with him, but you're gonna see more because NHL is right here, and he's a monster on the ice. Please welcome star of the Earl Sports Brothers YouTube channel, our friend Mr. Nicholas Earl, to the show. Nick, what's good, man? How are you?
What's good? It's NFL Sunday. Let's get it.
Let's get it, Nick. And we start right away at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Vikings, Packers. We've already set it up, so take us home.
Yeah, and I put a post out on Twitter kind of mentioning something along these lines. If you are a fan of fading public underdogs, today is your day. There's 4 of them out there that are getting, according to Action Network, at least 65% of the tickets. The Vikings are one of those, and this is the first one I want to fade. 78% of the tickets, 72% of the cash is on the Minnesota Vikings. Yet this line's at 3 now, and this was a 2.5 earlier in the week. I got Packers at minus 2.5 earlier in the week at minus 120. I don't know what the best available line is at the moment. 3 is the highest I'll go for this one. If you can find the 2.5, that'll be even better. For me, I'm looking at this as a sell high spot for the Minnesota Vikings. I wasn't high on the Vikings coming into the year, so I've been dead wrong about this team so far. But I didn't bet their games the first 2 weeks. I did fade them last week unsuccessfully. I'm going back to it this week. I've been able to read the Packers pretty well. I like them in this spot here. I think the market's telling you everything you need to know. All the money, all the tickets are on the Vikings. But yet now this is a 3. They're just inviting some more Viking money in this game. I'm on the Packers in this one.
We can get you the Packers minus 2.5, minus 112 right now at Pinnacle. Let's move on to the next spot on the board because I'm hoping that you're just going to give me more and more confidence. Rams, Bears, Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois. 50-mile-per-hour winds, but nice weather other than that. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, how the hell are the Chicago Bears laying 3 points in this game? Tells me everything I need to know. This is public dog number 2 if you're looking at it. 77% of tickets, 71% of the cash on the Rams, yet this line's gone from 1.5, 2 up to 3. It's another one where they're inviting the Rams money. And I get it. People are going to overreact about last week. The Rams just came all the way back against the 49ers and won that game before regulation even expired. And now they have to travel to Chicago to play a Chicago Bears team that's been very underwhelming. The only game the Bears have won and covered was at home, though. And both the games they have that they've lost this year was away from Soldier Field. I like the Bears minus 3 in this game. I think this line tells you everything you need to know about this game and the way the market is moving, where it's gone up to this 3 number, where once again, the public's all over the Rams in this spot. I'm on the Bears in this one. I got minus 3, minus 105 earlier in the week.
Same here. That's exactly the number that I got earlier in the week. It's more expensive now. This line's moving towards the Bears. I can still get you a minus 3, minus 1. If they're saying my bookie's minus 3 at minus 105, and yes, that's being cleaned up at 10:03 a.m. So I imagine that is here available, and that's not a stale line. Somebody can let me know if that is a stale line, but we're going to lock them in with Bears minus 3 at minus 105. This is a perfect game for us to end on because, as I am with you, not as bullish, but it will create some controversy in the chat because we've heard back-to-back cappers on the other side of us. This is not a comfortable spot. So maybe you could give me a little bit of some calm in my action. Jaguars, Texans, Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. Our final spot on the board before we review all action and talk about stacks, play of the day, and another action from cappers in the chat. Take it away, Nicholas. Jaguars, Texans.
I'm not high on this Texans team whatsoever this year. I know a lot of people love this Texans team to make a deep run in the playoffs. I came into the season with under 9.5 wins and to miss the playoffs for Houston here in this spot. I'm higher on the Colts. But looking at this game here, you have the desperate team of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I believe this line's gone from 6.5 down to a 5.5. I got in at +6 at minus 120 in this game. And when you look at the previous history of teams coming off of 30-plus point losses and dogs of, I believe, at least 4 points, they hit around 70-something%. Like these bounce back spots. And yeah, exactly. What did we last see from the Jaguars? Prime time game against the Buffalo Bills. They lose 47-10. Nobody wants the Jaguars anymore. They're 0-3. They covered only one game in this because they won by the hook. They covered by the hook against the Dolphins in a game they choked away. Nobody wants the Jaguars anymore. I'll come in and grab them right away here. I'll grab the +6. And for show purposes, let's throw a little bit on that money line as well. I like them potentially to win this game outright and really help my under 9.5 wins for the Texans here. Jaguars plus the points and outright here.
Jags +6 at minus 114 at Pinnacle. Jags money line at +209 at Pinnacle as well. I love to see it. I love to see that you're on it. Harold Williams just says, ew. Jags
Good.
+6.
I love when people hate my action. Love it.
Bears -3 at minus 105 and Packers -2.5 at -1 at -112. Nicholas Earl, tell us what's going on the Earl Sports Bets YouTube channel before we review all action and talk stacks and other spots from cappers in the chat.
Yep, we are live every single morning on ESB, the Earl Sports Bet Show. We got baseball playoffs starting this week. We get to talk some puck in 5 days on October the 4th. So we got that starting. We got the NBA starting soon, of course, college football, NFL as well. We're covering all the professional sports over there, and we do free pick content and stuff like that for college football games. So we got a lot of stuff coming up here with the playoffs and things like that. So it's a super exciting time.
Respect. Give our love to your bro. Thank you for being a part of the free roll poker tournaments. You had the best showing of anybody of us. 6th.
That was frustrating at the end there. Yeah, I got blinded out.
You're still very impressive in all of these poker tournaments, so we'll be in touch with you. Shout out to our guy, Nicholas Earl. Please support Earl Sports Bets YouTube channel and the Earl Sports Brothers. Shout out, my man. Thank you for rocking with us. Any last words for the Capper supporting the show?
Let's cash today.
Let's get that cash. Nicholas Earl. Let's review action here, but we've not talked stacks. Stacks play today is the first one, Lazard over 34.5 receiving yards. And the second stacks play today is Kyler Murray over 269.5 pass and rush yards for stacks. That's pass and rush yards. Kyler Murray over 269.5 and Lazard over 34.5. Shout out to our guy, Justin.
Stacks.
Big Ragu in. He's on the Colts plus 2.5, Falcons minus 2.5, Vikes plus 2.5, Cards minus 3, Lions minus 3.5, and his teaser is Bucks plus 7.5, and the Jets minus 2 for our guy, the Big Ragu. Let's review all action here from start to finish. The last bets that I made before coming on to the show was Jalen Hurts. I almost never bet player props, but we didn't get a chance to break down my thought process around that. But you take AJ Brown out, you take Devonta Smith out, you take Lane Johnson off the offensive line. I think that he's going to go back to pass and nobody's going to be open and he's going to have to make a quick decision to use his legs. And so I moved on over 41.5 rush yards. And I also moved on the under 42 in Kansas City, LA Chargers. And then finally, after sitting with it for so long, I know I'm up against sharps like Razor and Big Ragu. And it had kept me off for a long time, but I did move on the Steelers minus 2.5 and minus 108. Minus 108. So let's review all action here. Bobano's on Falcons minus 136, Steelers minus 130. The over 43.5 in Vikings Packers. Bears money line at minus 152. Washington plus 4 in the over 48 in Commanders. Cardinals and Chargers plus 7.5 minus 114, and the over 46 at minus 110 in Bills Ravens, and the Lions minus 3.5. Thank you, Aubrey Travis. I'm a little nervous about it. Man, Bear, Pig. I'm glad to hear that from you guys because the additions haven't been good so far this year. The additions at the end of the show when they were great last year, so I'm not going to get too concerned and still fire away here. Scuntbag play today from our guy Cody Norton. Raiders plus 3. Raiders plus 3 for the Scuntbag play today. Ramon Scott, star of the Morning Steam on Sports Money YouTube channel. Jacksonville, Houston under 45 at minus 110. Denver, New York Jets over 39.5 at minus 108. Washington, Arizona over 48.5 at minus 109. And Cleveland, Las Vegas over 36.5 at minus 113. LJ from H-Town, Texans first half minus 3 at minus 117. And the team total over, first half team total over 13.5 at minus 104. The under 40.5 at minus 105 here. Minus 105. Then we have over 48 in Commanders Cardinals. So he's with that with Bobano. And Kyler Murray over 1.5 touchdown passes minus 150. Jaden Daniels anytime touchdown at plus 110. Noli knows on the 49ers under, the Colts under, and the Jets under. I'm with you on the 49ers under. I came so close to that Colts under. I imagine if the Colts under cashes, it's even more helpful for me. I think if the over does cash, it is the just the difficulty of the Colts defense handling all of the losses. But I love hearing that. Noli knows. Thank you for sharing that with us. For Flash, joining us from Costa Rica, Bengals team total over 26.5. Cleveland, Las Vegas over 36.5. Texans -5.5. Jets first half -4 -122. I love seeing everybody's action in the chat. Please drop your action and best bets in the chat. And Jared TG saying, very confident with the Steelers. Don't understand what anyone sees in Indy, which probably means Indy will win by 60. There we go. And Bucks money line for Tom Leach. Bucks money line at -105. For Dabby Cab, Saints first half +1.5 at -115. Lamar Jackson over 56.5 rush yards. Achan over 23.5 receiving yards and over 58 rush yards. Londo in the house. Londo gave us Jets -7.5. Green Bay -3. Atlanta -1.5. Tampa Bay +2. Cincinnati -4.5. Jacksonville +6. Chicago -3. Arizona -3.5, New England +10, Cleveland +2, Chargers +7, Baltimore -2.5, over 40.5 in Pitt, Indy, over 36.5 in Miami, Tennessee, and over 46.5 in Detroit, Seattle. There's our guy Nordy in the house. Nordy, great to see you. Aaron Gaza is on the Colts and using an alternate line on the Colts too as well. I Need Money is on 2 props this morning. Kamara over 64.5 rush yards and Saquon over 79.5 rush yards. The Sweaty Butcher making his NFL pop-up debut gave us Texans -5.5, -108. Commanders +3.5 at -110. And his Surf and Turf is over 1.5 field goals for the Packers and Barkley over 18 receiving yards. That together is +194. Jay Peasy in the house. We love you, Jay Peasy. Says, when life gives you lemons, you pour a sour drink. Tune into PSR. My guy, Jay Peasy in the house. The first voice you hear when you watch any of our shows is that of our guy, Jay Peasy. And then he has a 6-point teaser for the Sweaty Butcher. Washington +9.5, Rams +9, and Green Bay +3.5 at +150. Brian Smith on Cincinnati team total over 26.5 and the over 47. Let's get that here. We also have action from Cap and Cards, Coin, Greg Needham. We have Cap and Cards, Calvin Austin, receiving yards ladder. We also have Coins action here. Let me copy and paste that here with this. There we go. A coin on Indy under 40.5, Atlanta under 41.5, Arizona -3.5, Las Vegas under 37, Chargers +7.5, Baltimore -2.5 for our guy Coin, and Greg Needham on Jaguars +6.5 and the Falcons -2.5. Let's copy and paste that. Ron Crawford also making his, and there's Diesel Eugene in the house. Been too long. Diesel in the house. Great to see you, man. So let's go into Ron Crawford making his NFL pop-up debut. His play of the day spreadsheet dog is the Saints at +125. And then he's on the Bengals -4, -115. Chargers +7.5, -117. There's our guy, the truth teller in the house. What up, truth? Then Marley gave us Texans -5.5, Steelers -2.5, and Ravens first half -0.5, -108. Then Nicholas Earl, Packers -2.5, -112, Bears -3 at -105, Jags +6 at -114, and Jacksonville money line at +209. Dougie Wise on the Browns money line, 66 Slammy. He has a 10-point super teaser. Jets +3, Panthers +14.5, Bills +12.5. It is time. This never goes away. We're 7 minutes from kickoff. You feel your heart start beating a little faster. You feel some sweat in the palms of your hand. And you know all the work that you put in, it's time to deal with the consequences. Will you be richly rewarded? Will you be panicking? Will you be walking back and forth with a bottle of brown liquor in your hand? What does the day provide for us gamblers, man? It will always be so exciting right now, just minutes before kickoff. We also have our live stream tonight. Join us for our live stream. Can't wait. Big Ragu will be starring on our live stream, amongst others. We're going to put that show together here this afternoon, but can't wait to rock with you guys. Bills Ravens, does it get better than that? This is my Friday night. I can't wait to rock with you guys this evening. And a huge, giant shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Young Native Tino, Joe Yurkovich, Lamont Williams, Tom Leach, the Sweaty Butcher, 66 Slammy, Justin McKelvey, Man, Bear, Pig. I'm not Big Daddy Boom. I am not. I'm not. You can't just pick and choose these things, right, Jose?
Right.
You just got look. I've just got to deal with the consequences.
Yep. I don't know what we're talking about, but I am to tell you about baseball action here real quick.
Sending in pops action.
Oh yeah, no, never.
Look, you just can't play God.
No,
You know?
no.
You just got to either, send it all in or send none of it in.
Of course. By the way, Helga, Oldie, and Remo say what's up. Quickly, Jimmy, I just wanted to give you these plays so we can make them officially official. Rockies money line plus 132. The under in the Red Sox game, under 8 minus 105. The under in the Reds Cubs game again, 7. We've bet the under in the last 2 games. The wind's still howling in. Philadelphia Nationals under 7.5, even money. Nationals money line at 1 plus 132. Love that bet. Orioles money line plus 122. Love that bet. Chicago White Sox won last time plus 200. And I think my favorite bet of the day, plus 161. Pittsburgh Pirates here as well. So enjoy that.
I do enjoy it. Stick with me here, Jose, while we close up. Thank you for all the hard work you do, my friend. Go get that cash. I have bet the Rockies. I didn't get back to the black. I'm almost at single digit units down, but I did break over 500, 301 and 300. It doesn't feel like that. Doesn't feel like that at all.
It's amazing how 500 doesn't mean shit.
It feels like 250 and 400 is what it feels like, but it is what it is. Noli Knows says Padres a sweep. That's what Noli Knows says. That is JP's and the grilled cheese. You got to throw in the grilled cheese, JP's. You got to throw in the grilled cheese. Thank you guys so much. It's time. Kickoff is here. Let's get that cash. We need a monster week. I need a monster week. Thank you guys so much for supporting us here on Pub Sports Radio. Can't wait to rock with you guys all this evening on our NFL live stream, Bills Ravens. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, Jose Bouquet, myself, Jeff Slaughter, and everybody behind the scenes, thank you for supporting our channel. Now let's go out there and get that cash.